You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
My man, Big Dick, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, brother. Doing well. Really enjoyed Raw this evening, and making up for some lost time. I did not have the opportunity to experience Raw Down last week, but I heard it was quite an interesting show. But more importantly, WWE was back in business on Monday Night Raw, the flagship, and it was an okay episode. Sort of gave us a little bit of real direction here towards moving towards the first pay-per-view.
Well, it certainly set the stage for Fastlane.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, they have a couple weeks until Fastlane pay-per-view, but they set up, made it actual. They're starting to make it starting to put together some matches and start for it. So should be an interesting pay-per-view. It's usually the Elimination Chamber. Now it's Fastlane, so I guess there's no more Giant Chamber. But as you'll see, we'll talk about a little bit later on. There was some pretty big matches being added.
Yeah, to your point, Elimination Chamber, always is probably one of the best pay-per-views of the year. There was a lot of title changes over the years. It kind of got sandwiched in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and it really gave the feel of how loaded the first 3 months of the year were for WWE. But here's something interesting, don't look now, but the Fastlane card is starting to get very loaded, and it doesn't even have a WWE title match on it. So, the pay-per-view itself is looking to be very good, and I guess kind of how they're trying to build out Fastlane. I mean, they must have a plan for WrestleMania. They've definitely muddied it after tonight. But I do think that Raw tonight dragged a bit. And I would say the Raw Down on Thursday was actually really good, really good. We didn't have the Raw last week, as you know, because of the snow down in Connecticut, which is where I'm at now, and we have another foot that just came on top of us. There's about 2.5 to 3 feet on the ground right now. It's not a good look out here, Big Dick. But
how many Angry Tensai juniors tall is the snow right now?
If I was to put little Tensai out there right now, I would say it's probably 1 1/12 the size of a little Tensai. He definitely would be completely covered in snow. It's that crazy. Now, of course, you have plows and stuff, but this all didn't come in one wave. It came in two. So, it's basically just removing another foot plus. But still, I mean, the snowbanks are getting absolutely enormous here in the New England states. I guess we'll need something to keep us warm. Not that I'm a Patriots fan, but like a Super Bowl trophy, thanks to Pete Carroll, who proving why he was fired from the New England Patriots, taking ownership of his passing call at the last hour. Now, before we get into Raw, that brings us to the Super Bowl, and you and I were exchanging notes about the hottest attraction on the planet last night. And we're not talking about Tom Brady. We're not talking about Marshawn Lynch. We're not even talking about the Budweiser puppy. We're talking about Left Shark. Left Shark, Vic. Can you tell us a little bit about Left Shark?
Wow, that was absolutely unbelievable. My sources tell me that Left Shark was in fact Shark Boy dressed up as a shark, and he really stole the show during the Katy Perry dance segment. There, it was a thing of beauty.
Let me ask you something, Dick. I said it today, and I'm going to throw this theory out there to the people that are listening. Left Shark went off the script and was doing Macarenas and all these weird dances that wasn't really jiving with the dancers on stage. What if both sharks were supposed to do the Macarena and be different, and Right Shark was the one that veered off the script, and we have a false prophet, and Left Shark is being hailed as a hero in the Second Coming, when it really is Right Shark who is doing the deviation? What if?
I don't know. That's some pretty shocking stuff to put out there, but you know what? Stranger things have happened.
That's what happens when you get two entities that look exactly the same saying that they're one or the other. But anyway, Raw tonight featured a first segment that really is honestly the show centered around it. And really what it was Triple H came out for his big announcement. They did not waste time. And essentially what the big announcement was was that Triple H felt that because of The Rock's interference, and although he claims he loves The Rock should have never gotten involved in the main event, and it really muddies the win Roman Reigns obtained and to go to the Royal Rumble. With that being said, he challenges Roman Reigns' spot in the Royal Rumble, and he wants to open up the challenge again. Immediately, Roman Reigns comes out before they can furthermore speak about what they want to do with Roman Reigns' spot, because Stephanie McMahon was clear, just because Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble does not mean he has to go to the WrestleMania, because there's a big asterisk next to it. Daniel Bryan comes running out, and he says, well, if you're going to give out an opportunity at a title shot, well, I never lost the title. I'd like a title shot. And Triple H says, well, you know what? You're the idiot that entered yourself in the Royal Rumble, because I was going to give you a title shot, but you went and threw yourself in this match for no reason. And Daniel Bryan played it very perfectly, because you could tell he was being very contemplative, and he realized he might have screwed himself. So he's trying to work his way back into the match. Seth Rollins comes out on the stage. Seth Rollins said, well, if anybody should be getting a title shot, it's me. Blah, 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 blah. Finally, middle ground is this. Triple H says, tonight, Seth Rollins will take on Daniel Bryan, and the winner of tonight's match will go on to Fastlane to take on Roman Reigns, where the winner of that match will be the number one contender at WrestleMania to take on Brock Lesnar. Now, the only thing holding that up, Triple H said, well, it's really up to Roman Reigns, because in reality, he does have the Royal Rumble spot, but does he want to actually earn his shot? Does he want to gain the respect of all the fans that have been booing him? He acknowledged that. And Roman Reigns said, you know what? Not going to back down from a challenge. Sign me up. So there we go. We got our main event booked tonight, and Roman Reigns is going to put his title shot on the line. Hearing that big dick, seeing that big dick, what do you think of that whole exchange?
Don't like it. I do not like it.
Please go on.
I think it's similar to last year, where WWE, a week after they had the Royal Rumble, they're making the decision, oh crap, we didn't make the right call here with this match in the fans' eyes, so we're going to find a way to book our way out of it. Now, I'll give them credit. Last year, it was creative the way they booked their way out of it. This year, a little bit less. I would say right now, my favorite to win at Fastlane is going to be Roman Reigns, but it's going to have to be putting on a very good match against Daniel Bryan, and possibly getting some interference from the outside in order to win the match, which will either solidify Reigns as a face or turn him more heel and have Brock Lesnar be going as the overwhelming face choice.
Yeah, I hear you. I just personally don't see any way Roman Reigns gets knocked out of this title match. I don't see any way Roman Reigns is taking on a third person at the pay-per-view. WWE is not going to reward fans that hijack pay-per-views or anything anymore. I think last year was a one-time thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Maybe, and if they keep Reigns in there and it is hated, maybe that is the thing that turns Lesnar from a super heel to completely over the top face. And don't get me wrong, I think that he's pretty close. He was pretty close to that leading up to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and even during the pay-per-view, he was very close to making the full turn. But I don't know. I think that WWE, I think that's the way they should go with this, and have Reigns turn heel at some point.
Yeah, I think he might. I saw the backstage segment tonight with him and Daniel Bryan interacting before Daniel Bryan's match tonight, and Reigns basically told Daniel Bryan if he makes it to that match, he's gonna just absolutely smash him and get the hell out of his locker room. And he did it in such a heel way. I mean, I think WWE is going. I really think WWE now, and I don't want to underscore the match tonight, because Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan put on a really great match, and it almost seemed as if Roman Reigns helped Daniel Bryan win the match, as opposed to Seth Rollins, which leads me to believe, to your point, Daniel Bryan is going to get absolutely brutalized by Roman Reigns. he will get over as a mega heel, and it's going to show the WWE fans that you could want Daniel Bryan all you want, but we're standing behind our decision. So I expect Roman Reigns to get a mix of X-Pac and true heel heat when he dismantles Daniel Bryan at the pay-per-view. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do or that's what they should do, but I think they're realizing now that Roman Reigns can't take on Brock Lesnar as a face, to your point. So, taking on Seth Rollins, yeah, they might root for him. They probably wouldn't. Fans are going to root for Seth Rollins. So I see what they're doing here. And I think they might establish him as a good heel in the process, which is something you've been calling for. So, I think that was really the big turn of tonight's show. I mean, I don't think it's complete yet, but it sure looks like it's going that way.
Yeah. So, I don't know, and it'll be interesting to see how they book their way out of this. I mean, where do they go with Roman Reigns at this point? Or do they go with the loser of the, or I'm sorry, not Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins? Where do they go with the loser of the Reigns and Bryan match? Or who does Daniel Bryan lose? Assuming he loses.
Well, the dirt sheets are claiming that
Daniel
Bryan went to WWE officials and wants to have a match with Dolph Ziggler. So that could be interesting if that is in fact
Daniel Bryan.
Yes, him and Dolph Ziggler went to WWE officials and said that they want that to be their match at WrestleMania, and apparently the powers that be have been very receptive to it, and they're willing to scrap the Sheamus match as a result.
Who is Sheamus going to wrestle?
Well, originally what was slated to be on the dirt sheets was that Bryan was going to take on Sheamus, but that's not going to happen now. Bryan's going to apparently take on Dolph Ziggler, if what we're hearing is true.
Okay. I was going to say, I'd absolutely love to see that match. That would probably be, given a fair amount of time and a fair amount of creativity, probably be the best match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it could be the match of the year with those two. I agree. Yeah, they continued the storyline tonight, about the punishments for Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback. Ryback had to take on Luke Harper. Rowan had to take on Rusev, and Ziggler had to take on Bray Wyatt, and even Roman Reigns was given a punishment tonight of taking on the Big Show. And one of the reasons why it looked, what I think WWE was trying to do is make you think the reason Roman Reigns solely interfered against Rollins was because Rollins did really cost him his match with the Big Show tonight. But I think the way it played out in the last segment, it almost looked like Reigns, I mean, I know he was returning the favor, but he looked like angrily pleased that Bryan won, and not because he wanted Rollins to lose. I think you're going to hear something to the effect of Reigns at some point admitting that the reason he sent Bryan to Fastlane was because he perceived him to be the easier match.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that coming to light also.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting. Daniel Bryan's in a tough spot because he got eliminated so easily in the Royal Rumble. He got injured in that brutalized attack a couple months ago by Kane. When he loses to Roman Reigns, if he loses to Roman Reigns, they really did do a lot of bringing Daniel Bryan down to earth, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's super over that's the problem though. I mean, they've established him as a top-notch heel, and I don't think a mid-card match is gonna do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Ziggler versus Bryan. I'm guessing that Ziggler is going to be heel again by that point. Although I could see him almost getting the cool heel pop, even going in to the WWE WrestleMania as clearly set heel. Right.
Well, I would just say WWE's got to be careful, right? I mean, you have paying customers. You're trying to sell pay-per-views. Or, excuse me, not pay-per-views, WWE Network subscriptions. You got to give the fans what they want. And this is a different environment where literally they're paying for everything now. I think you really got to be careful to give the fans what they want. And, I get why WWE is trying to put the safeguards on the internet wrestling crowd booking the show. But generally the internet wrestling crowd, although they don't have money, they will give you a show with a high work rate and a good product. But I'm hearing that once you sign up for the WWE network, you can't leave now. Our own Killer Kev experienced this. Kev, is it true you weren't allowed to cancel the WWE network? Killer Kev, our producer extraordinaire. Oh,
he's probably on hold with WWE Network right now.
I can't wait till he gets back so we could ask him about this story. I did not cancel the first time. I just let it expire, and I waited like a month or two to renew it. But that wasn't a problem. Killer Kev was actually told they wrote him a really nasty letter that he didn't honor his commitments. I like that. It's almost like a wife would write to you. They told him that he didn't honor his commitments. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know that this was such a long-term commitment. I sort of liked it because it was sort of a one-time fling, and basically allowed me to come back as need dictated.
To me, you want to give me what I want? I want more Stephanie McMahon. She's my favorite
Right.
diva.
Absolutely. I mean, just have her jumping up and down on a trampoline, and I'd be happy.
Yes, we did get a Divas match tonight. Paige beat Alicia Fox, and apparently she will get a title shot at some point at Fastlane versus Nikki Bella. Anything you want to add about Paige and Nikki Bella?
Oh, God, I love Nikki Bella's chest. That's about it.
Yeah, she had on she kind of looked like a thin Kim Kardashian tonight in the dress she was wearing and the way she was done up. I liked Nikki Bella tonight. She was looking top notch, top shelf. It was really nice. So for those of you who didn't see the show, pull up some pictures. It'll be worth your time. It won't be the only thing you're pulling.
Some good JO material right there.
Oh
good
yeah. And I guess to recap the Cena 3, Ryback. I think Ryback actually won his match with Luke Harper, and if I'm wrong, let me know. But I actually think Ryback was the one guy that won his match. Rusev's match never got started because he just brutalized, destroyed, and dismantled Eric Rowan, and John Cena, who Rowan was kissing his butt backstage about how no one's ever stood up for him. John Cena didn't make the save, which I thought was kind of odd. And then Ziggler actually lost.
Really surprising. That's really surprising because they're building towards a Cena-Rusev feud coming back.
Yeah, he didn't save him. And Ziggler lost to Bray Wyatt, too.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's just sort of their way of showing, the authorities are great. I don't think those matches were really punishment. I mean, they were all fair matches. I mean, nobody was really like the Big Show versus one arm tied behind the back.
Yeah, but the way Triple H announced the matches, he made it like that we're going to give you the toughest possible opponents we could find.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, at the same time, it works both ways. I mean, shoot, Rusev versus Eric Rowan, I would think that Rusev's at the disadvantage if he wasn't undefeated.
Yeah, that's true. Rusev's never going to get beat, dude. Not at Fastlane. WrestleMania would be when it happens.
Yeah, that's the thing, because they booked, a little bit later on the show, they announced that it was official that John Cena was going to wrestle Rusev at Fastlane. I thought that if they were going to hold this and really draw this out, I thought it was going to be at WrestleMania. And I don't know, I mean, this could be just the start of the feud between Cena and Rusev, but I don't know. I was a little curious with that booking.
Well, I'm glad Ryback beat Luke Harper. Not that I have anything against Luke Harper, but, Ryback, I think, it's a miracle he's been able to get back his steam after how bad they killed him for 2 straight years. But he really did get back his steam, and he looks good. And, I think people will take him seriously. That's good for Ryback.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the biggest issue with him is, probably what do you go for other than the title? I mean, the IC strap or the US strap just isn't going to do it after you've had runs like he's had.
Well, he certainly won't be getting the strap on anymore, which is good.
Hey, you never know what happens in the shower.
Yes. Before the Ryback match, the Ascension took on Stardust and Goldust, and the Ascension win because of dissension between Stardust and Goldust. They actually got into an argument backstage, too. Goldust called Stardust Cody, and he freaked out. But think about this. The Ascension now has beaten the New Age Outlaws, Mizdow, and Stardust and Goldust twice. So they are on quite the roll.
Yeah, however, I don't know. I still absolutely hate any time they spend on a mic because it's pretty horrible.
Let me ask you a question. What would you think if they broke up the Ascension on Thursday night and they announced that Roman Reigns will be replaced in the WWE main event with Connor, and Connor will take on Brock Lesnar to headline WrestleMania, and neither guy either talks about the match or anything, any build up until the day of WrestleMania, and then the match just happens?
I think the WWE Network, I think WWE Universe, at least the men over the age of 12, would be happy with that.
McMahon would be happy because he likes all the big guys and all the bulky dudes, so he could have JO material too. Anyway, the Ascension wins again. Also in the tag team division, Cesaro beats Jimmy Uso in what was a very good match, I thought. Tyson Kidd was running amok at ringside, and what I thought was funny is Jimmy Uso went for the splash to win the match. He got uppercutted by Cesaro, who took his head off, beats him, and then when the other Uso gets in the ring, Tyson Kidd runs in the ring super fast, and for no reason hits Jey Uso with like a jumping drop kick, and it was just like the cheapest shot I've ever seen in my life, and then he ran out of the ring and joined Cesaro. And I loved it. I love a good cheap shot. It was such a heel chicken shit move. It was like the cheapest bitch shot I've ever seen, but it was a great shot. It was awesome. So I guess Cesaro and Kidd are going to take on the Usos at Fastlane, and I think that's great. I think it'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's that should be good.
Miz.
Now, I have to wonder. Give me your rankings of the top 5 WWE tag teams right now, because they've been all over the place. Like, I don't think there's really a dominant WWE tag team right now.
So wait. So are you asking me top 5 in like kayfabe rankings, or top 5 in my estimation of who's the most talented?
Top 5 based on like the results that we've seen lately.
If it's based on results, the Usos are obviously the champions, so you wouldn't rank them. If it's based on just results, and I'm not saying because I like them, on just results, the Ascension's clearly the number 1 contender. They've beaten everybody. Cesaro and Kidd lost to New Day. The Ascension hasn't been beaten by anyone. So to me, right now, the number 1 contenders would be Ascension. Number 2 would probably be Kidd and Cesaro, or Stardust and Goldust. So I would have them at 2 and 3. 4 would probably be a New Day. 5 would be Miz and Sandow. And there is another tag team. Who's the other tag team? I'd put them at 6. Not the Matadors. Somebody else.
A New Day?
No, I'd have them at 5.
Do you say that?
Yeah, I might be mistaken. Maybe there's only 6. I feel like there's 7, but I would definitely have the Matadors last. And I don't think Miz and Sandow are bad. I just don't think they've won many matches, so I'd put them down. I think all the tag teams are pretty good from a working rate standpoint. Work rate, I know Cesaro and Kidd ultimately will wind up being the best tag team. They still are getting used to each other. I think you'll be surprised by this, but on just work rate, I think when they're not, outside of the Ascension match they had, I think Miz and Sandow work the best together. I think Goldust and Rhodes work the second best together. And then I'd say the Cesaro, Kidd, and then the Usos.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I feel like the tag division is sort of okay. Like, you have the Ascension, you have the Usos. I feel like the tag division is pretty much Goldust and Stardust. I think they're breaking up before WrestleMania. Miz and Sandow, I think they're breaking up before WrestleMania. And 2 of the top teams out of there. I feel like it's going to be the Usos versus Ascension at WrestleMania. And I could actually see I would actually like to see the Ascension dominate them and win the title similar to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam over Cena. Just absolutely dominate and win it all in about 5 minutes.
I think they will. I actually think they will.
I hope so, because that gives them that would actually give them what they shot at the beginning. I mean, I get they beat Sandow and Miz in one of their earlier matches at the start of their career, however, or at the start of their stint in WWE. But I think it was the most ineffective thing ever just to have two jobbers in a ring at this time against the Ascension.
Well,
like the first
WWE
where they got to do their promo, their finisher. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, the Ascension's going to have a lot of new teams coming up because, if you look at some of the guys on the roster, the WWE's lucky. They got 5 guys in the tag division right now that are extremely versatile. Cody Rhodes, for instance. Look at, all he's done as a tag team wrestler. He had a great tag team with DiBiase in Legacy. He had a great tag team with Drew McIntyre when they were the dashing ones. He had a great tag team with Damian Sandow. He has a great tag team now with Goldust, in both variations of their tag team. I mean, the guy he's a good worker. Even with Hardcore Holly, when he first came up, he was somewhat entertaining. Mizdow, Sandow, he's been good with Cody. He's obviously good with Miz. These guys are good workers. You look at Tyson Kidd, he was good with the Hart Foundation. He was good with Justin Gabriel before he got injured. He's good with Cesaro, and Cesaro obviously was great with Jack Swagger. He was great with Kings of Wrestling and Ring of Honor, and now he's good with Tyson Kidd. So they got these guys.
Cesaro's super over as a cool heel as well.
Yeah,
in this wrestling. I was surprised they moved him to the tag team wrestling, except for the fact that I think they almost did it as another step on the way to being a championship contender.
Right. I mean, he's great. I mean, even Miz is a shitty, hated heel, has been in great tag teams. R-Truth,
His show.
John Morrison, obviously, they were one of the best tag teams in the last decade. Yeah. Show Miz. And dude, these guys are talented guys. I mean, they're lucky. They can really do a lot with these guys, and they don't have to be with their current partners. They can mix them up. So
yeah, well, you said the one thing that you did just say there. I mean, we're naming this. We're naming the 6 partners that Cody Rhodes has had. We just named 4 partners that Miz has had. It seems like the longevity of tag teams does not last as long as it used to.
It could have though. If you kept Miz and Morrison together, they would be. They still could be entertaining. If you would have kept, Rhodes and Sandow together as Rhodes Scholars, they'd still be entertaining. That's WWE's fault. It doesn't. I don't think it's been I think there's been a lot of good tag teams that have come through in the last 10 years. It's just WWE breaks them up so fast. So I don't think the division is as bad as everybody's made it for the last 10 years. I think it's the booking of it, if that makes sense.
No, I agree completely. I almost feel like it's similar to the IC Championship, where if people have hard on to get it onto the next rising star, that it's switching hands twice in a month is no big deal. And I feel it's the same way with the tag team division. I mean, I really don't see any way that Miz and Sandow lasts for more after WrestleMania, and probably the same thing. I could see Cody Rhodes and Stardust having a match at WrestleMania, most likely in a pre-show.
They just don't stay with it long enough. When Rhodes Scholars when they really started getting good, they broke it up. When Real Americans, Cesaro and Swagger, really started getting good, they broke them up. And I know you love these guys. Harper and Rowan, man, these 2 giants, they were awesome as a tag team. They made the Usos look like $1 million. And they're part of the Wyatt family, and you break them up. I just don't understand. And now Harper's doing okay.
They're struggling to make the WrestleMania card outside of maybe the Battle Royal.
Yeah, you're right. They won't be in a singles match. They'll be in the Battle Royal. That's the best they'll do, But
like you said, I mean, and the thing is, they used to do some high flying moves. I used to love to see their matches against when they were wrestling the Shield members or some of the other bigger tag teams. They used to do some freaking awesome moves. Luke Harper, diving headbutts. I mean, shit. It's you don't see that much right now. Maybe you'll see it at WrestleMania, but you don't see it right about now.
Agree. And when you have a lot of tag teams that you keep together, it's a way to keep guys busy. So if you got two guys, but the tag team titles don't matter anymore. Back in the day, let's say 04, 05, you could take Shawn Michaels and John Cena out of the tag team, or out of the singles division for a couple months to let Triple H and Goldberg feud for the title, because you have the two of them go together and win the tag titles against a stacked tag division. And that's just another thing they can do. And it's not anything bad, because at one time, during the Dudleys, the Edge and Christian, Hardys, Acolytes, the tag team titles meant, I'm not going to say as much as the WWE title, but they meant more than the Intercontinental title. They meant a lot, that's for sure. And really not having those cards anymore really hurts WWE. I really believe that. I mean, think about WCW in the late 90s. The Cruiserweight title kept all the smaller guys busy. It was really entertaining. You had Jericho dominating that division, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. And then you got, in the tag division, Nash and Hall feuding with Harlem Heat and the Steiner brothers. I mean, dude, that's how you book, man. That's how you book. And when did WCW fall? When they had no tag team division, O'Hare and Palumbo were going against Kidman and Lash LaRue for the tag titles, and then your Cruiserweight title was a joke. Lance Storm had like 8 belts, and that was one of the ones he carried around. I mean, seriously, that's when it was all over. You have to have depth. The people have to be interested in the whole card, not just the top of it, right? I think. Speaking of which, Dolph Ziggler took on Bray Wyatt tonight. Really good match. Unfortunately for Dolph, he got hit with a Sister Abigail. Bray Wyatt looked pretty damn dominant. And there was a little skit later in the night where Bray Wyatt actually referred to what I think was The Undertaker, and how he's not really scary anymore, blah, 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 blah. He knows he's listening, and he's going to find him. Kind of like how I know Killer Kev is listening, and I'm going to find him. So Bray Wyatt essentially calls out The Undertaker tonight. Interesting. What'd you think of that, Vic?
I like that, because I wasn't sure The Undertaker was going to wrestle, but I think him and Bray Wyatt, I think that's a great next step. And I think that it's a match where Bray Wyatt can lose to The Undertaker, even if they decide to make it Undertaker's final match. He can lose to The Undertaker, but win by putting on a solid 20-minute performance and put himself over. Because, I mean, he's been put over, don't get me wrong, he's a good worker, but if he takes The Undertaker to the limit, even in a loss, I mean, he's earned that much more credit and could definitely be a main event player after that.
Is
like
there any chance, though?
Not like somebody who will run a feud against, like a mid to upper card feud against, like, Dean Ambrose or somebody like that. So I think that'll be the match at WrestleMania, and hopefully he puts on a good show and proves me right about him.
Could Bray Wyatt win the match?
Could. I don't think they do that to The Undertaker. From what I've seen, Undertaker's pretty rough shape right now, so I'm not sure how many more WrestleManias he has left in him. So I'm gonna think that I think this might be his last match, and I don't think there's any way that they had the Taker go out with another loss.
Can I tell you something? And I give John Cena credit, because we love seeing John Cena be challenged and essentially beat by big superstars. I have to give Undertaker credit. If he can't keep going WrestleManias and he has to give up the streak, he really did give WWE something special in Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar does, in fact, resign, I mean, I don't think I've seen a champion this over in a really, really long time. I don't remember an unbeatable champion since Ultimate Warrior or Hulk Hogan. Like, I don't really remember an unbeatable champion. I really don't. Maybe I thought Kane was when he beat, not even. I didn't. I don't think I really remember an unbeatable champion. Maybe Undertaker really early at the beginning, but I think we've had a void for like 15 years of a champion that really was seen. Maybe Goldberg in WCW, but not in WWE. In WWE, I can't remember a champion that I truly thought couldn't be beat. And this rendition of Brock Lesnar since Undertaker, I mean, dude, he's a killing machine. And by some way they do re-sign him and he wins against Roman Reigns, I think you let Brock go to the next WrestleMania. I'm dead serious, man. you let him go another year with the belt. I'm dead serious. Dead serious. He is an attraction, and people will pay to see him.
I agree. I think that he could be. I mean, I could see him wrestling it. I would like to see him wrestle more than like 3 pay-per-views all year, though. I mean, maybe like 8 all year, or maybe even Monday Night Raw or something like that. But yeah, I mean, they need to. We can't have 3 months where you don't see the title belt.
No, I agree.
I just wasn't doing that.
But dude, honestly, from what I'm hearing, it's not him that doesn't want to do the limited schedule. It's WWE doesn't want to pay him, and they feel like they already have the revenue because people are in the WWE network. So they're not paying him the extra dates. The thing is, though, he sold Royal Rumble. People wanted to see him wrestle. And I mean, dude, I think the minute you put him down, especially by like a guy like Roman Reigns, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this Brock Lesnar they got right now, this is like, he looks different. I mean, everything about him is different. I mean, than when he was coming up the ranks and headline WrestleMania with Kurt Angle. He really is the beast, man. He really is everything they say he is. And that Royal Rumble match was his best match ever. Ever. And I give Cena a lot of credit. I give Rollins a lot of credit. But I'm going to tell you right now, tell me I'm wrong though. Wouldn't Cena Lesnar 3 sell more tickets than, well, I guess it's 4, but wouldn't that sell more tickets than Cena Reigns? I mean, I would think, or Lesnar Reigns, I would think I'd rather see Lesnar or Cena again. The decisive match between the two of them. Wouldn't you?
I'm sorry, say it one time?
I want to see the decisive match between Lesnar and Cena because in reality, Cena's only won once, and that was the one at Extreme Rules a couple years ago. The disqualification one I throw out, and then you have the one where Lesnar destroyed Cena. I think they need to have that rubber match. I think that would be a more entertaining match based on what I saw at Royal Rumble than against Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I think that they're, at least for WrestleMania, they're going to use Cena to put over Rusev, even if Cena
What did you say?
I think they're going to use Cena to put over Rusev.
To what, Rusev?
To put him over.
Are you saying that you think Rusev might beat John Cena at WrestleMania?
Maybe not WrestleMania, but I think that he either wins or they go like double DQ or something at Fastlane, and I think this feud carries on to WrestleMania. And it might not necessarily be the end of the streak, but I mean, if Rusev and Cena put on a 15-minute match, that would be, I mean, that could be what, even if Cena somehow wins it, Rusev, it sort of be like, Wyatt versus, Undertaker. Can still earn a respect and have a more of a moral victory by winning a match like that.
Do you think it's possible that Rusev could beat this Rusev you speak of?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Killer Kev, we were asking you a question a little while ago, and you were away, and I'm assuming you're back now, about WWE Network, and we're hearing rumors that you were called out by the WWE Network email team, that you made a commitment to them and they wouldn't let you cancel.
No, they let me cancel. That wasn't a problem. I asked for a refund because of all the shenanigans they've pulled with WWE Network, giving away Royal Rumble, pretty much giving away TLC, giving away for 2 free months of subscriptions to new subscribers and giving nothing to old subscribers. I got an email back from them because WWE Network representatives actually said, you know what, there's not a lot we can do, but I know a friend on the refund team, and they can look over your request. And the email I got back said, Dear Kevin, please be informed that your refund request was denied after review because of the commitment that you have agreed under the terms and conditions when you subscribed to WWE Network.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
Commitments? I don't think WWE understands what the word commitment means.
But you said things to them. You told them things.
I agreed that I would be a subscriber for 6 straight months in order to receive this valuable product known as the WWE Network. And then when my 6 months came up, they asked me again to reaffirm my commitment to another 6 months. And I did. And the month after that, WWE has changed the terms, and they have no longer become committed to me.
Wow. That is the coolest thing you've ever said on these airwaves.
You know what? I feel jilted.
I understand. Now, do you...
I don't know. I think part of the problem though is that, hey, you know what? It was a God's whatever act of God where Raw got canceled last week, and I think they did the smart thing because they're gonna get. I think that showing a match like the Cena Lesnar Rollins match is going to get some of those casual people off the fence.
You know what? I disagree with that, though. Why would you give away the pay-per-view that you wanted everybody to spend $9.99 on the night before? I mean, WWE already said, you know what? We're sorry that we couldn't put on this show for Monday for you, so we're going to do the show. We're going to come back and we're going to do this show on Thursday for you. And for the fans at Boston, we're sorry we're not going to be able to make it out Boston on Tuesday, but you could take those tickets and you could use them when we come back to town the next time. You know, and I thought that was already fair. But, you know, I understand WWE had a commitment to USA Network to put on 3 hours of programming. That's fine. Are you telling me that out of all the video and packages and everything that WWE has put together, they did not have a contingency plan for a night that Raw may not go on the air, that they said, oh, we got to put on the pay-per-view that we just told everybody to pay for the previous night? Why not, you know, put together a compilation of, you know, best pay-per-view matches of 2014 or best Raw of 2014 segments? You could have put a 3-hour best of stuff that people have already paid for and has been out there for a while. You didn't have to give away the show that you just demanded everybody buy.
Commitment.
And now, and then further, you know, 2 nights after that, they announced that they're going to give away WWE Network for free for new subscribers, not current subscribers, new subscribers.
Interesting. I don't know.
And, you know, and here's the thing. And I kind of griped about this. I contacted WWE Network about this last week, and representatives actually said that after all the complaints, WWE Network is just now putting into works some kind of thank you for loyal subscribers, but they don't have any firm details on anything yet. But in 24 hours, they thought to give away Survivor Series and a free month of WWE Network to new subscribers, people who haven't paid a dime in for anything. But for people who've been around a month, no, we ain't got no game plan.
Commitments.
And that's why WWE doesn't get $9.99 out of me anymore.
They get $9.99 out of Vic.
Yeah, next couple of months only. I think after Money in Bank pay-per-view, I'm done for the year. I figured out I'd be able to watch, I think 6 pay-per-views in a 5-month span.
Well, let me ask you this, Kevin. Do you feel like they gave you $9.99 a month worth of value for what you paid?
Up until the last couple of months, yeah.
So you did?
For a time being, yeah. But that value dropped off when they gave away November for free. That value dropped off when they redid all the matches from TLC on Raw the night after. That value dropped off even more when they gave away your Royal Rumble matches on Raw the night after, and it's completely dropped off the map now that new subscribers get another month for free. There is no big, and here's the way I look at it. What is the main reason people would want to subscribe to WWE Network? Because they want current programming, right?
Yeah.
But you don't get current programming. If you can't watch Raw or SmackDown live because WWE already made commitments to Comcast. USA Network for Raw and Sci-Fi for SmackDown. You can't watch it 24 hours later on WWE Network because WWE made a commitment to Hulu. The only way you can watch Raw or SmackDown is 31 days later when it's no longer current. So there goes that. What's the other big reason people subscribe to WWE Network?
So they could say they're a member?
Right, so they could go back and watch all the hours of video footages of wrestling from like the 80s and the 90s and the Attitude Era and all of that stuff. And that's great. It's a lot of programming right there in one package. And it's definitely one of the things that I initially paid for. But here's the reality. That stuff's already all over YouTube, Dailymotion, Vimeo, any other video sharing site. People upload that stuff there every day.
That's illegal.
It's illegal. It absolutely is illegal. But they continue to upload it, and they've been doing so for 10 plus years. And as fast as WWE takes it down, it goes right back up. So really, are you getting that full amount of programming? No, because it's already been out there for free. So what else is on WWE Network? So you're not getting live or current Raw or SmackDown. You're not really getting any real value out of the old content. What else is on WWE Network?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
You haven't been watching, have you? Well, guess what? Not a lot of other people have been either. But I'll tell you what else is on there. You get original programming like WWE Inbox, WWE Countdown, and the JBL and Cole Show. Have you guys watched any of those?
No.
Nope.
No. But I tell you what though. Before you got your WWE Network subscription, you could watch those because WWE put those on YouTube and WWE.com all the fucking time. So there's not $9.99 value in that either. What's left? Can you name one thing that's left?
I'm getting ripped off.
There's one thing left. Name one thing left.
I don't know. Tell us.
WWE NXT. Absolutely positively, no doubt about it, their best programming. Their absolutely best programming. I have never once not watched an episode of NXT and not been satisfied. But here's the problem. Is WWE NXT all by itself worth $9.99? No. And I'll tell you why. Because for $7.99, you can go watch it on Hulu. Because WWE made another commitment there. So the one good thing in WWE right now, you can actually get for $2 a month cheaper by going to their competitor.
That's not right, man.
So the only thing that you've got left out of all that is the pay-per-view. The one thing that people really buy this for the most, the pay-per-views. And we're fucking giving them away on TV. What value is left in WWE Network? None.
None.
It is bereft. It is empty. And the main reason that I turned in for WWE Network was, of course, the pay-per-views. But we're giving away pay-per-views away. You can't get current stuff. Old stuff you could get everywhere. WWE crap, you could go watch on WWE.com for free. NXT, you could go watch that elsewhere for cheaper. The second main thing that I turned in for WWE Network, because I was looking for the hope that they would invest a lot of money in some new original programming. And outside of WWE NXT, there is not good, valuable, real programming on here. You know, I was originally counting in that Legends House, but, you know, they did Legends House actually 2 years ago. And I was hoping that after they did that, we'd already have another season of Legends House lined up. No, there's no more seasons of Legends House lined up. They're not producing it. Maybe they're going to do WWE Toughen Up, but that's going to be on USA Network too. It's not going to be W Network original. So there's no real original programming outside of NXT and the bullshit shows they were already giving you for free. So there's nothing left for me.
Damn, man. It's their own fault.
It is, and there's no reason. I don't know.
That's it. They're gone.
I'm done.
I like everything you're saying. Well, you know, Big Dick, Kev, I think we covered a lot of material tonight. Fastlane's going to be interesting. I don't think this Raw was great. I don't think it was bad. I think it was just good, which is fine. It did advance the card and advance the storylines, but I don't know. I think I think that will probably be about it here, unless there's something you guys want to say or plug. Vic, anything you want to say or plug?
Nah, I think I'm good.
Mr. Kevin?
Well, I'll do some plugs here. Undisputed Wrestling Show. Unfortunately, we couldn't do a show last week because everything just got totally screwed up, and sadly, for second week in a row, Headbanger Thrasher has to be put off.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, really
What,
sad.
is he holding you guys up for some cash, or what's the deal?
No, last week he had an emergency situation come up. He couldn't be booked. But last week, our whole show just kind of disappeared. We had one one host who wasn't going to be there because he had a prior commitment. Another host who got called out to work literally an hour and a half before the show, and the one remaining host that was left, his computer started crashing.
Damn.
So, unfortunately, we had to reschedule Mr. Thrasher. But we will get him back on in a very short while here. Meanwhile, if you'll give me just a moment.
I was actually going to say, if you ever run into that situation in the future, just let me know. I'm in a hotbed of wrestlers around here in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah?
I could literally go to WWE's yoga studio, and we could do a podcast from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know where his yoga studio is, but I'd still love to go do a podcast from there.
You think you could do that, huh?
Probably not. I'd probably get arrested. But it was pretty funny. I was thinking about it. Before the pay-per-view, I forget if I was watching a clip or something, and I saw DDP, and I'm like, oh man, it's like he has like the coolest, like the diamond cutter was just the coolest move and the coolest like calling for the move beforehand, like that WWE had, or that WCW had, I think.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. If I ever met him, I'd definitely I'd definitely bust out the diamond cutter. Just like if I ever met Ric Flair, I'd do my Fargo strut in front of him. And then maybe give him some knife edge chops.
There you go. Tomorrow night on Undisputed Wrestling Show, though, we do have some great guests lined up. We're not going to have Thrasher this week. However, we are going to have, MMA and pro wrestling commentator Todd Kennelly on in the first hour. You've heard him on TNA for a while. He's also announced with Bellator. So we're going to have a lot to talk about there with a guy who's been in and out of both businesses quite a bit. Then in the second hour, we're going to have a great independent wrestling tag team on, a pair of brothers who are known under the name of Ohio is for Killers.
Now, is this no relation to the Motor City Machine Guns?
No.
Or what about the Bayville Bombarders?
I heard they might have scuffled once or twice.
They were the Bayville champions.
Nice. So
that might be the second biggest wrestling federation under WWE at one point in the late 90s, early 2000s. I can tell you what, David Arquette was never their champion.
No. Much.
To my knowledge.
That's a much better champion than anyone they had.
There you go. So that's all I've got to plug.
All right. Well, then I think it's a good night, good fight, and thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Kev, hit the damn music.